Welcome back, everybody. DJ Numismatics back again for another coin roll hunt. Like I said in my last video, I did score a full box of circulated nickels, and you could tell they're circulated. But that one there kind of peaked because I thought maybe it was a war nickel. When I peeled it back, it was actually just a 1953. So we've got some older ones in the box, and it looks like a lot of the ends are older style nickels. So I'm pretty excited. Hopefully we can fill and upgrade some of the coins in the album. If you remember correctly, I think I've got 8 slots left to fill in the album, all from the 50s and 40s. And like I said, hopefully we can find something to at least fill one slot, or maybe 2. And then the bank that I stopped at to pick these up the other day was the bank that had the Ike dollars. If you watched my last video, you seen I had some picked up $16 worth of Ikes from that bank, and they also had $62 worth of $2 bills. So I picked them up. I went through most of the bills. There were some sequential bills where the serial numbers all were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there was 1 or 2 sets kind of like that. Most of them were 2013s. I did find some 1995s with some counter stamps or tracking type stamps where you could track where the bill is gone. And I found 2 76s. As you can see, neither one of them are star notes, and neither one of them are fancy in any means. But, well, I shouldn't say neither one. But if you look at this one, here's your standard $2 bill. As you can see, it is doesn't show any green other than the neon green on the front. It's mostly black, and of course the back, you see the green and whatnot. This one is a normal one, but if you look at this one, let me zoom out a little bit. This one, I think, might have what they consider a wet ink transfer on it. I don't know if you'll be able to make it out. It's not, you can see the edges, it's definitely a circulated bill, but if you look at the bill itself, where, I want to say white because it's not technically a white on the normal bill, obviously, but it's more of a beige. This one, you can see green ink all over the front of it, all the way up into the 2, and you can almost make out the webbing pattern is, as you see here on the front, and if you flip it over, on the back is kind of similar. And if you look at the 2, you can slightly see some of that webbing pattern in the 2 itself. So I don't know, let me know what you think in the comments below. But I do believe this is what they consider a wet ink transfer, and that's from the other stack of bills being on the top were slightly wet when they put them on the other bill, and the ink from this side transferred onto here. Like I said, let me know in the comments below. It's definitely a circulated bill, but I know wet ink transfers are fairly rare, and if you come across them, you can sell them for a pretty good price. So out of the $2 bills, that's the only one that I found that I'm gonna keep and put aside and maybe do some more research on. And like I said, if you guys can give me some advice in the comments below, I'd appreciate it. So that being said, we got an older design on this one. Let's move on to some nickels. First roll, and 1 coin behind the under, and we're gonna have our first find. That is a 1958 from Denver. We're on that same roll, and if you guys are just now joining me in some of my coin roll hunts, I check, and you can check yourselves, some of your newer Jefferson nickels on the reverses. This is a 2015 P. I do believe this one has 5 or 6 different ones. What it is some doubling in the doorway. I'll go ahead and throw it under the microscope and show you what to look for. Okay, I got it under the scope, and what you want to look for, there's quite a few of them with some distended, I think they call it distended or something like that, DDRs, or double dies. And you can see right here in the corner of this doorway, that is, let me see if I can zoom in for you. Yeah, you can see it right there. This one here is RPM DDR 005, I do believe. And like I said, most of them from 2014, I think, maybe a few newer than that on, all have this certain variety you can look for in their doorways. So if you're not finding anything in your older variety or older nickels, there's always something you can look for in the newer ones. Matter of fact, I think the new 2020s have some of these in them. The P's, most of them are all the Philadelphia ones. Alright, I'm going to get back to the hunt. We're on the third roll, and we're going to get another find. And that is a 1954 out of Denver. That may be an upgrader. It's in pretty good shape. Same roll as the 54, and we got another 2015 P, and it's got one of the other DDRs on it. So I'm going to go ahead and take you over to my laptop and show you what else you can be looking for. Okay, as you can see, right over here, you've got some extra material, and this one would be DDR 004, and that's on the 2015 P. We're on roll number 4, and we've got that filthy ender, and that is a 1953 out of Denver. That thing has seen better days. Roll number 5, and we're going to have our first 40s nickel, and that is a 1949 out of Philly. We're on roll number 9, and I thought it was silver at first because it has that silvery look, but it's not. 1 year off silver. That is a 1941 minted in Denver. Second 40s of the box. Roll 13, and we've got another 40s find, and that is another 1941, this time out of Philadelphia. Roll 15, and it's not a major find. It's in actually pretty good shape. It's a 1985 P, but if you look at it, it is a pretty angry coin. Meaning angry coin, it's a mad coin, a misaligned die. You can see the extra material on one side and lack of material on the other. When you flip it over, it's fairly normal, other than it being a little bit concave. If it was off on the other side, equally, it'd be an off center. Pretty cool find. I'll put that one aside. Roll 17, and we're going to have our first foreign of the box. And that is a 1995 Canadian Beaver. Same roll, and we got another 40s nickel. And that is a 1948 out of Philly. Roll number 21. We've got a 1952 out of Denver. Same roll, and we've got another 1952. This time out of San Francisco. Same roll, and we've got a 1999 that has been struck through a copious amount of grease, I do believe. It's either that or a cap die, one of the two. I think it was just struck through a lot of grease. The back is about the same too. Pretty cool find. Same roll, and we got another find. This time it's a 1953 out of Philadelphia. Roll 22. We've got another 50s nickel, and that is a 1955. Can it be a semi-key date? Nope, it's out of Denver. I'll check that for the D over S off of camera, and if it is, I'll bring it back in. Roll 23, and I had an ender and didn't even realize it. You can definitely see the Wheel of Death is on the front, and it's the oldest nickel of the box so far, and that's a 1939 out of Philly. I'll check that for the double Monticello off camera and see if we got it. On roll 29, and we've got another 50s nickel, and that is a 1957 out of Denver. Roll 31, and we've got another 40s nickel, and that is a 1942 out of Philly. Transitional year, non-silver. And while I got you here, I noticed back here we've got another foreign, and that will be a 1986 Canadian Beaver. I'll go ahead and finish up this roll. Roll 37. We got another 50s nickel, and that is a 1956 out of Denver. Roll 39, and we've got a pretty nice looking 1953 out of Denver. Roll 40, and we're going to have a 40s nickel, and that is a 1947 out of San Francisco. Roll 44, and we're going to have a 54, and that is a 1954 Denver. Roll 45. And we're going to have a 1953 out of Philly. We're on roll 48, and we're going to have a 1948 minted out of Denver. Same roll, we're going to have our third foreign in the box, and that is a 1983 Canadian Beaver. Roll 49, and we've got a 1955 minted out of Denver. I'll check that for the DRS off of camera, and if we got it, I'll bring it back. Same roll, a few coins later, and we got a 1956 minted out of Philly. So we ended up with 7 from the 40s. If I remember right, there's 14, I do believe, from the 50s. And then some random ones from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s to check against the album. We also got that crazy 1999. No, or is that the 39? I take it back. That's the 39. I guess I did get one from the 30s. And then we got that crazy, here it is, 1999. It was either struck, I'm not certain, it's either struck through a lot of grease or it was a cap die, one of the two. The only reason I say it might have been a cap die is if you look at the rim there, you can kind of see what looks to be possibly cap marks. We've got the 3 Canadians. Let's see, where are we at here? Those 2 2015s with the DDRs. So let me pull out the albums, go through all these, and see if we get some upgrades. Upgrades. And I'll bring you back in when I sort through them. See you soon. Well, in the first book, it looks like we're going to be able to upgrade the 63, the 74, the 79, 78, the 81p, just because I think that one may have been cleaned. And then the, wait a minute, well, I guess it's getting upgraded, I think. Let's just look one more time here. Oop. For some reason I wanted to put both of them in there. Either way, that one can definitely be upgraded. I think we'll go with that one. Looks a little bit better. And then the 83P is very slightly better, but I'm going to change that one out. The 85P, the 86P, the 89P, and the 90D is a slight upgrade. Let me pop these in and we'll move on to the next book. Well, it's looking like in this book we're going to be able to upgrade that 53S That is a definite upgrade. And the 54D, the bottom one's a little shinier, but it looks like it may have been cleaned at one point in time. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that 54D in there. It is in about the same shape, but like I said, it looks like the one in the book has been cleaned. So we still have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more slots to fill. So hopefully if I can get another box of nickels or 2, we can get some more of these slots filled. And like I said, when I started this hunt, I went through those $2 bills, and I'm hoping one of you guys can help me out on that. I think it's a wedding transfer. And let me know what you think. So I'm going to pop these 2 in there and close out this video. And like always, I'll post a link up here for my eBay page. If that is a wedding transfer, it just might make it on there. And I'll post a link down below for a few of the sites that I went on to look up some of the varieties on these coins. And hopefully you enjoyed this hunt and album upgrade, not fill yet. And stay warm and stay safe out there. And until next time, happy hunting.
Here we go.